Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of CJ's Coins and Crafts. This is episode 50 of our US Commemorative Series. This one is covering the 1937 issue Roanoke Island, North Carolina 350th anniversary half dollar. In 1584, Sir Walter Raleigh was given letters patented by Queen Elizabeth I of England authorizing him to explore, quote, remote, heathen, and barbarous lands. He outfitted two ships for an expedition to America, hoping to found a settlement as close to Spanish Florida as possible. The ships explored along the Atlantic coast and Roanoke Island in what is present day North Carolina, and was chosen as a site because there were friendly Native Americans nearby. In 1585, Raleigh sent seven more ships to Roanoke Island. In 1586, low on supplies, the colonists returned to England after Sir Francis Drake visited and took them aboard his ships. A resupply expedition had arrived only weeks after the colonists had departed and left 15 individuals, but they had perished in 1587. Raleigh sold his rights, and the purchasers sent three ships with colonists who were left at Roanoke Island in 1587 under John White. On August 18th of that year, White's daughter gave birth to a daughter, Virginia Dare, the first English child born in a New World English colony. 9 days later, White left for England to arrange for resupply, but his attempts were futile as the war with Spain demanded all ships available to defend against the Spanish Armada. It was not until 1590 when Wright returned to find the colonists gone, leaving the word Croatan carved into a tree. A bill to authorize the Roanoke half dollar was introduced into the House of Representatives on May 20th, 1936, by Lindsay C. Warren of North Carolina. Rather than being referred to the Committee on Coinage, Weights, and Measures, it was sent to the Committee of the Whole House on the State of the Union for floor consideration. Warren asked for unanimous consent to proceed with the bill. Bertrand Snell of New York stated that if the House had many more of these bills, he would make a speech in favor of each of them as to take as much time as possible. But as he had been overruled so many times on them, he would not object. Robert Rich of Pennsylvania stated that this was the 35th coinage bill that have been brought forward, possibly as a way to inflate the currency, and that they should be careful not to do something that they might regret. Neither representative objected, and the bill passed the House without dissent. The bill then went to the Senate, and on May 21st, 1936, was referred to its Committee on Banking and Currency. The bill emerged from that committee on June 2nd with amendments relative to the standardized requirements for commemorative coinage bills. The sole change made to the bill, which had been in commemoration of the anniversary of the colony, Virginia's birth, and her baptism, was to remove the reference to her baptism. When the Senate considered the bill on June 6th, it approved the amendment and then the bill. Since both houses had approved different versions of the bill, it had to be returned to the House. There on June 16th, Warren moved that the House adopt the Senate amendment, which it did without recorded debate. It was enacted into law with the signature of President Franklin D. Roosevelt on June 24th, 1936, which authorized an unlimited number of Roanoke half dollars. No less than 25,000 could be issued at any one time, and only upon the request and payment by the Roanoke Memorial Association. No coins could be issued after July 1st of 1937. William Marks Simpson, who would later design the Norfolk, Virginia bicentennial half dollar, was engaged to design the Roanoke coin. On September 26, 1936, the Secretary of the Commission of Fine Arts, H.P. Kamer, wrote to Lee Laurie, sculptor member of the commission, informing him that Simpson had visited the commission's Washington offices and left a photograph of a sketch model for the Roanoke coin. Laurie approved the initial design with Charles Moore, chairman of the CFA, transmitted preliminary approval subject to Simpson sending photographs of his completed models. The initial models differed from the adopted coins in a number of ways, including having the date 1936 and his signature instead of a pine sapling. Simpson reworked his models, redistributing the text on the coin and giving Raleigh's bust on the obverse a truncation. One change that Simpson made was to render Raleigh's name as Raleegh, writing to the CFA secretary that Raleigh most commonly signed his name as Raleegh. The commission insisted on the official spelling Raleigh, and Simpson adjusted to it. The sculptor's models were then reduced to coinside hubs by the Medallic Art Company of New York. Simpson's design for the obverse features a bust of Sir Walter Raleigh with his name below. He wears a ruffled collar, an earring, and a feathered hat. The feather intrudes between the words above. Below Raleigh's shoulder is the artist's monogram, WSM. The denomination, Legends of Liberty and E Pluribus Unum, are also on the reverse. The reverse depicts Eleanor Dare holding her daughter Virginia in her arms. Infants had appeared on U.S. coins before, but not as fully depicted as Virginia. Also shown are two English sailing ships of the time. Eleanor Dare stands on a pedestal out of which grows a scrub pine. In God We Trust is on one side of Eleanor, and below her a ship and the anniversary years. An initial quantity of 25,000 half-dollars plus 15 pieces reserved for inspecting and testing at the annual meeting of the Assay Commission were struck. All pieces were struck in January 1937 at the Philadelphia Mint. These were offered for sale by the Memorial Association at a cost of $1.65, including postage. In May 1937, chair of the Roanoke Island Historical Association urged collectors not to pay from $2 to $3 to buy the coin from a dealer. He had stated, quote, "There are several instances which have been reported to us in detail where dealers have declared the issue of these commemorative pieces exhausted. That is definitely not so. We have approximately 8,000 pieces available to order, with all proceeds from the sale of these coins being used to defray the costs of the commemorative festivals. So when a dealer claims this issue is exhausted, he is talking through his hat," end quote. A further 25,015 pieces were struck in June, the excess of 15 also going to the Assay Commission. They were available in time for the August 1937 celebration of the anniversary on Roanoke Island, which featured a production of an outdoor drama, The Lost Colony. The coins came too late to capitalize on the 1936 commemorative coin boom, thus 21,000 coins were returned to the mint for redemption and melting. Want to take this time to thank you for watching this video. If you guys like this, please hit the like button. If you guys want to see something else or any other details on these videos, please put that in the comments below. Thanks for watching. We'll see you guys on the next one.